The best suggestion arrive always by those who doesn't have any conflict of interest with you. This is a known topic. Which is the best interest rate? Variable, fixed, mix, revisable one? Which one? Stop asking this question. This is not like face a Champions League. You don't need to decide between a football team or another one. There is no the best solution. Should be some things based on you, just on you. Is it not about deciding which football team you should be fan of? This is your mortgage. It's probably one of the most important financial projects of your life. It's completely a project. And to manage this project, you need really right data. You don't need to be fan of a variable, or yes, I love the variable now. Oh no, now is the time for the fix because all interest is lower than normal. Look, there is behind each type of strategy, each type of selection in an interest rate, for instance, fixed or variable, okay? The first doubt that people have once face the mortgage. This is a strategy that is based on what? Is based on you. Should be done one analysis based on your life, especially in your life, in your country, where you are going to request the mortgage. Change many things. It depends how many money you have, when you want to close your mortgage. Depend by many things. The news. We are going to today we are going to check about this detail, okay, one by one, and give you with this video a general view about why it's wrong that someone that don't know you, don't know your project, tell you directly is better this or is better the other. There is no sense. I will explain why. If we are going to talk about generic about what is the trend, what is the average solution, we can say that in 2009, now we can say, for instance in Italy, was not good to take the fix, right? But people have scared because in this time the interest rate was crazy high. So if it will increase more, with scare, with afraid you make a decision, and after you take the fix, but then fix for 30 years, you fix so high for 30 years, how to come back? And in this time, as we see, the interest decrease, and we arrived to 2015 with the QE, the quantitative easing of Mario Draghi. So you see, it's not so easy to decide, because with the scare, people is going always, who doesn't know always, is choosing the fixed one. Not because it's wrong, just because it's wrong the decision, because it's based on what? That's the question. They base the decision about some things that they don't know. That's why it's wrong. There is not one good analysis behind. That's the key point, okay? So, for instance, if we are talking about the average, and in the last years, a lot of people can say that 90% of who has applied for a fixed rate is the best solution. And we have to see detail about that, okay? But surely it was the worst in 2013. As we explained, in these years in Italy there was very high, maybe it started to decrease in this time, but it was still high. And if you fix that high, that level for 20, 30, 40 years, then it will be impacted all, you know. So, but who knows that will, in this time, that will decrease, okay? So, as you see, you have to analyze the trend, the ongoing, the local situation, everything, the worldwide. You should check the news and everything. I will explain now in a list about what you should consider about this. So anyway, what I want to tell you is that if it was right for 99% of people, what about the 1%? Probably it's not the case for 1% of people, because their scenario, their situation, their commitment, their factors which impact their life, their stress living, how they live their stress, for instance. This is something personal, okay? So we should take into consideration, because we are talking about 20, 10, sometimes 30 years, sometimes 40 years of your life, and you need to live with a mortgage, you know? And so it's very important that you know, you understand all factor and how those factors are integrated between each other. Okay, let's face it. We know this wrongly, is really wrong things, that we know the fix has the secure interest rate. Secure about what? Tell to those people in 2009, 2010, 2011 that they decide to go with the secure one, with the fixed one. What is secure about what? They pay a lot of money and now they are still trying to change it. Because secure is nothing. You need to analyze. That's the best. To study, to analyze, to make the right plan. This is the secure action that you can do. There is no an interest rate which is secure, which is not secure. Okay. There is just a strategy better than other. Okay. And you must study for that. The fixed rate, the interest rate, the fixed one. The fact that you are going to pay automatically most of the time, you are going to pay is the cost is higher than a variable one most of the time. This doesn't make this mortgage secure, you know. You're losing a lot of money by default, okay. Then in this period people can say to you, but now we are very low, cannot go lower, so it's good to take the fixed one. Depend. Probably in 80% of cases in these years, probably 70, 90, we don't know, but for sure, not for everyone. Why? Let's face the list of the factors that you should consider. So, before care about which is the best, fixed one, variable one, with also option. For instance, we have option variable or with the monthly rate fix, means that it can change the period but not the amount every month that you're going to pay. Or the mix, it's called mix or revisable one, which is the one that the first 2 years, for instance, can be 3, 4, 5 years. The first years is, I don't know, you decide variable or fixed and then it change, okay? And you agree again with the bank which is the, if you want to go further with the variable or with the fixed. Each 5 years you can decide to change it, okay? This is also another strategy, but both the fixed one, the variable one, and the mixed one, for instance, the main one, those have different contract. What does it mean? This means that, for instance, if you have with the fixed one a value of TAN, okay, of 1.50, the TAG with the fixed one can be 2%. Contrarily, but with the variable one, it can be that you have 1.50 TAN and you have TAG, so the global one, at 160. Okay, no 150, 160, instead of to have 2% like as you have for the fixed, because it's different contract. What does it mean? Just for you, one example, the contract is different. It means that probably for the same commission, can be communication monthly, okay? You can pay for the same the same mortgage. I mean, you will receive 2 quotations, but in one is included that, for instance, for the fix you pay 10 euro every month for the communication, for the monthly communication, instead of 5 euro that you pay with variable. So are different contract, okay? So that's why change the global interest rate, okay? So the TAN can be the same, but then can change because it's completely different contract. So, but what you should consider to decide with which strategy you should go, fixed, variable or mixed one, okay? There is the scope. Your scope is very important. Define a scope. For instance, you want to buy to live, okay? Because you work close to this house, to this home that you are going to buy, this property you are going to buy. And for instance, you don't want to have children in your life, okay? So you already buy one apartment little, you know exactly your scope, will not change. You will continue to work in this company 4 years, okay? Forever, let's say, until your retirement. And after that, you will have one house and probably or one apartment you won't give, I don't know, heredity to someone else, okay? For instance, a scope well defined. By the other hand, you want, for instance, be a rich person, and you can apply for for instance, for yourself, you are going to rent one apartment, okay, the cheapest one, and you want to open a mortgage, for instance, to buy some property to rent, okay, that will create for you the margin, okay. In this case, for instance, you can decide, you can think to say, hey, Probably I don't want I won't have a fixed rate, because I will want just the margin between the monthly rate I'm going to pay and the rent that someone else is living there is paying to me. So I want a higher margin, and I want it for a lot of time. Okay, it can be one solution. Is not wrong the variable one in this case, for instance. No, you have much margin at the beginning, okay, and then you don't know. You can always increase after. So it depends also not only by the scope, but many other subjects, okay, which one expert should help you, if you cannot do alone, should help you to evaluate which is the best strategy for you. There is a second point, which is the period of the mortgage. For instance, you want to apply for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, okay. For instance, a variable on 40 years, normally is always here is an average. I cannot say is wrong. Normally I don't suggest, but let's face, okay, we have to check your file, your data, everything, your age for sure. Then point number 3, buy for you or buy to rent is what we said before, okay, so we already talked about that. Point number 4, the trend of the location, real estate, for instance. In the location where you are, which is the trend? You need to, for instance, if you want to be rich, but you are going to buy to live, it doesn't make always sense. But here in Luxembourg, for instance, in 2019, there was one increase of the price of 10.4%, just in 2019, just in this year. Who has a house of 1 million, he receive just, if they sell for sure, they increase the value of the property 100,000, just 10% like this, boom, in 1 year. So that's very important, okay, to calculate the trend of the location where you are going to buy. The global economic situation is another point important, point number 5. Point number 6, the local economic situation. Also locally you have to see not only the trend of the real estate, but also the economic situation. It can be government can apply some things or not, you know, some benefit, or maybe you have to pay more tax. Check about that. Then is important also point number 7, the news. Let's talk about COVID. For instance, no? The news is important. Then, point number 8, your family. How many we are in the family? Now we plan in 10 years to have 5 children. So you understand that you have to buy and sell. So probably it's better if you rent the beginning and then you buy. Depend of what is your plan, what is your scope also here, okay? And your life approach. There is point number, before there is a point number 9, that's why I wrote it, there are a lot of. After the family we have point number 9, your salary is important also, because let's do one example. If you take care of the house, so you don't want to sell this house, I mean, if you cannot pay, you won't keep this house, okay? So in this case, you have already a monthly rate that is really close to your salary, okay? So you are a bit like this, you cannot go further. A variable can be a risk in this case, because okay, if decrease, but if in case increase, you cannot pay anymore. So then you have to sell the house, okay? So in this case, it can be important also, your salary is very important, okay? Also to get some time to get the mortgage accepted, okay? Another point is the point number 10 is your life approach. Your life approach, why? There are people who want to be relaxed, means they don't want to think anymore about mortgage. For instance, they are going to decide to have a fix for this, because they commit themselves once in the life and then stop. They don't want to think anymore. Even if they are going to pay 30, 40,000 more, they don't care, okay? But they have to be aware, that is important, okay? It's important that someone will show the difference between one strategy and the other, okay? And then you recognize which is the best. But it depends by life approach. If every day you have to stay anxious because you have a variable and can increase, maybe not too much, but maybe a lot, depending on the country where you are, then it's not so nice for your health also, okay? So, by the other hand, if you are good in management of your stuff, for instance, you can take care, okay, I will find a solution, I can sell, I can buy another, and then I can buy again. Something like this, you know, when you have the control of your life, when you, let's say that the variable one is for expert. If it is good, that is the good selection. I mean, it's for expert because need a certain, you have to take care, you have to be ready to change, okay? Not because who take the variable is expert and who take the fix is not expert. No, because one expert can take also the fix. But once one expert decide about variable, normally is the good choice, because a variable will help you to to select a variable, you need to have a lot of information that in case of needed a change, you need to switch and find a solution in that time, okay, based on your knowledge, okay. So that's why is really is normally for expert, okay. Doesn't mean that you don't have to take, okay. Doesn't mean. So we have your lifestyle also, of course. Because if you have one interest rate, for instance, variable, okay, and you cannot live without going holiday, you cannot live without your Mercedes, you need to buy every year a new car, every 2 years a new car. So then the variable, in this case, increase and you cannot anymore afford on these expenses, then what is going on? So depend on your lifestyle, okay. Then there is point 12 is the control, your control and ability. That's what we was talking 2 points before, in fact. Control. Do you control? Do you check about how is going the market? Do you have the ability to change, to make change in your life? That's very important. And in fact, the point 13, we have, what about your change management skill? I mean, if you are not good, if you I don't know, you put some things, you used to do always the same things, okay, in your life. I mean, you park the car always in the same position. You are not flexible to change, because sometimes it's better to have some solution, no? There is sometimes we are used to do some things, but sometimes there is a better solution. So if you are not flexible about this, if you don't have change management skills, then it is hard, for instance, the variable one, okay? Because you want to just make the mortgage, don't think anymore, see you 30 years after. It's not the approach that I like, but it can be a solution also. The last point, point 14. Therefore, the integration with many factors. Yes, this is a point very important. The integration between your life, the trend, the interest rate in that time, is really a study. It's really a study that must be done by someone that is really expert to give you the best solution, not for everyone, for you. So anyway, once I have a profile of someone to study, to analyze, to give my best suggestion in their mortgage, if this person really need my help, I will analyze everything around him, around her. Why? Because it's very important that I know exactly the scenario, all factors which can impact the life, to make the best strategy possible for that person. Okay, why? Because a mortgage, we don't forget that, is going to impact the most important years of your life. It's the core, okay? When you start 20, 30 years, plus 30, 60, the next is retirement. So it's going really to impact the most important things, and I care about people will do the right choice, also following their emotion, okay? And anyway, if you already made, for instance, a mistake about mortgage, don't worry, because there is always a solution to make a better way. So if you need my support, just contact me. I will try to give you the best support as possible for your mortgage, for your family, for your financial situation, because there are many strategies to change management that change management can provide you, okay? You need some time to review, okay, the way you are looking the mortgage, okay? So anyway, if you are already in the process of a mortgage and you already signed, and you understand that you make the wrong decision, you can see in the link below, which is in the description, I leave my contact. If you need, I will support you to share what is my point of view concerning your life situation, your financial situation, your best strategy, which you can still apply. Okay, even if you already made a bad mistake, okay, a mistake concerning the mortgage. Even if you already made this mistake about a mortgage, you've wrong, someone didn't suggest you the correct, I will come with you and I will explain all positive point about one solution, all negative point about one solution, based on what? It's not based on generic scenario, but basic in your scenario.